I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome you to our first ever online annual meeting. And I just thank you for joining us today. Sadly, I need to let you know that one of our long-serving directors, Kurt Rakestraw, passed away on August the 7th. And he was an awesome director and a friend. And he surely was a valuable asset to the co-op program, not just locally, but statewide and nationally as well. And he will be sadly missed. If you would please join me for a moment of silence in memory of Kurt Rakestraw. Thank you, and continue to keep your family and their family in your thoughts and prayers as they move through this grieving process. I just have some instructions, being that this is our first online meeting. It'll be a little bit run a little differently. We will be recording the meeting. And when we ask for a motion or a second, or to vote on a motion, you need to raise your hand with a little hand icon on your computer. We will lower your hand, and that will take a little bit of time in between the motions and the voting in order to record everything and lower the hand. So there'll be a little bit of a delay as we move through that process. You can also type questions in the question and answer box on your screen. The first item of business is we need a motion and a second to approve Diane White as recording secretary, to appoint Bob Chappell as parliamentarian, and to dispense with the reading of the notice and the proof of the mailing. When I ask for the motion, the first hand up will be the motion, the second hand up will be the second. We'll take a motion. Okay, we have a motion and a second. And now when I ask for the vote, the first time I will ask if for everyone who agrees to raise their hand, and then we'll lower the hands, and then if anyone opposes, they will also raise their hand. Okay, so all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. If anyone opposes the motion, please raise your hand now. Motion carries. Now we need a motion and a second to dispense with the reading of the minutes and to approve the 2019 annual meeting minutes. Please raise your hands to make a motion and a second. All right, all those in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. All right, if anyone is opposed to that motion, raise your hand now. Motion carries. Now you may start entering questions in your question and answer box at any time, and the questions will be answered at the end of the meeting. I will now turn the meeting over to our attorney, Bob Chappell, to give the 2020 Director Elections Report.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to continue to represent your electric cooperative. This year, districts 1, 5, and 7 were up for election. Therefore, representing the Credentials and Elections Committee from District 2 was Brian Amon. District 3, Janet Rosbaugh. District 4, Eileen Wiley. District 6, Norma Zeisloff. District 8, Gloria Lewis. And District 9, Ann Hudak. I'd like to thank their members of the committee for their service and assistance in this process. Elections for District 1, which covers the areas of Fox Township, Sullivan County, McNutt Township, Lycoming County, and Canton Township, Bradford County, represented by the sole petitioner Ann B. Henderson, receiving 952 votes. Therefore, she stands so elected. For District 5, which covers Shrewsbury Township, Sullivan County, Penn, Franklin, and Jordan Township, Lycoming County, the sole petitioner, Kathy A. Robbins, received 966 votes and stands so elected. Unfortunately, as Ann already mentioned, our former director, Curtin Rakeshaw, passed away on August the 7th, 2020. He was the sole petitioner for District 7. Therefore, there was no balloting for that district, and we will hold a special election in conjunction with the regularly held election in 2021 to fill that vacancy as ordered by the board. And that includes my reports. I would ask for a motion to destroy the ballots after the appropriate waiting period.
Motion
And a second. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Those opposed, opportunity to raise your hand. Motion carries. Again, thank you for this opportunity to represent your cooperative and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll turn the chair back to Ann Henderson for her report.
Thank you, Bob. I'd first like to introduce the rest of the current board of directors. I'm Ann Henderson from District 1, and District 2 is represented by Ben Feaster. District 3, Wayne Gavitt. District 4, Jeff Hamilton. District 5, Kathy Robbins. District 6, Jay Lewis. District 7 is vacant. District 8 is Dave Alman, and District 9 is Steve Brady. We have a very diverse board of directors. It's a very good board. They've been working diligently to provide good governance and to improve the co-op. So today, as I give you my report, I am going to give you a little tour of our web page as well. This is our home page. You can see there's some big icons here, and then up at the top there's little drop-down boxes. So if you don't know who your directors are, you can drop down the box about us, and the directors are listed down here, second from the bottom. There's lots of other good information about the co-op in this section. There's the membership handbook, there's cooperative principles, there's member policies, there's how to contact us, our mission statement. And then there's also the bylaws, and the board just finished an in-depth review of the bylaws with our attorney this year. You can find that the updated bylaws right here under the bylaws section here. And I'm happy to report that 2019 was our most successful year fiscally ever, with a margin of $741,203. That was a very, very good year. You can see our operating revenue on line 1, and our major expense is the cost of purchase power there on line 3. 12 that's highlighted is our total operation and maintenance expenses. And line 20 is the total cost of electric service. And then you'll get down to line 29 there and see the operating margin. This is the asset section of the balance sheet. And as you can see, the assets total to $23,486,807. And this is the equity and liability section of the balance sheet. How your 2019 dollar was used is graphed here in this pie chart. And as we said, the purchase power, we spend about 35% of it is spent on just purchasing the power, and another 22% on operation and maintenance of the system. So you can review that if you want to study any of that information more thoroughly. Under the news and events section on our website, you'll see under that tab, there's the 2020 annual meeting, and all of the information from today will be on under that section on the website, so you'll be able to access it. Another major thing that the Board of Directors does is our 6-year plan. We actually started this in 2013 when our equity was 24.3% and our debt was 15.5 million. It's a rolling plan, so every year it's updated. We usually meet at a planning meeting and review everything. And at that point of time in 2013, we set our goal to be 40% equity. Currently, as of the end of 2019, we've gotten the equity up to 34.5% and the debt down to 13.3 million. So we're hoping to reach our goal of 40% by the year 2025 and to reduce our debt at least to 13 million and hopefully lower. We were also able to send out capital credit checks to members recently, and you need to understand when we do that, we lose equity. So it's always a big balancing act to return capital credits and keep our equity at a good level. So we were able to do that this year. We sent out 4,128 checks amounting to $652,963. And we were able to send, we were through years for 1986 through 1992. When we set our financial plan, like we said in 2013, our goal was to have a 30-year capital credit cycle, but I'm just pleased to report that it's down to 27 years. We pay off the older years first, so it's very important that you keep your address up to date, because after 27 years, you might have moved and lost touch with the co-op, but we still owe that money. And we would like to get a hold of you. We get a lot of checks back for bad address. So one thing that we have on our home page is a section right down here under this icon, do we owe you money? And you need to check that out and see if your name is on there, or see if any of your family or friends or neighbors or anybody that you know how to get a hold of, if their name is on there, then we owe them money and we want to be able to pay them back. So get in touch with the co-op, and we will want to find these people if we possibly can, because if we don't, then if no one claims those checks after 3 years, they have to be escheated. And through the co-op lobbying efforts, we are able to get a bill through the Pennsylvania legislature that allows the co-ops across the state to put this cheated money, instead of cheating it back to the state, we can put it in a special fund. And it is only allowed to be used for three things: 1, energy assistance; 2, educational purposes; and 3, civic purposes. So our energy assistance fund is called the Helping Hand Fund. That's down here on this icon. So what that is, it's administered by Trehab, and it can help people that need help paying their bills. It's there, or up here you can access it. There's more information because you can donate your capital credit checks back to that fund, or you can actually write a check and make a donation to that fund. And if you would do that, that helps people less fortunate than you. And you can find all the information you need on how to do that under these sections in our website. There's also lots of other member services under this link that you might want to take advantage of. So I just encourage you to check some of these things out. And if you have any questions, you can call the office. There's been more of a demand on the Helping Hand Fund because of the COVID-19. This has been a difficult period, and there's currently a moratorium on disconnects, and that has resulted in higher past due amounts and more people asking for help from the Helping Hand Fund. The co-op does have emergency plans for many different types of emergencies. We review them, and staff works on them and communicates them, and didn't particularly have one for pandemic, but easily took some of our other emergency plans and adapted it to the pandemic. They changed the work schedules, like divided into 2 teams, and installed, really closed the office for a while, but then installed some plexiglass in the office, and there's a drop box in the lobby so you don't have to come into the office. And of course, the extra cleaning and sanitation activities. The board continued to meet. We met by Zoom, and we're having our first ever online annual meeting due to being not being able to meet in large groups. Also, more people took advantage of the paperless billing and the electronic payments. And there's more information on that under the billing section. You can sign up for paperless billing or electronic payments. To do that, you have to set up an account and make a password. And then once you do that and you sign up for these things, you can manage your account using this icon right here on the home page. There are some energy efficiency tips and things under this tab here. There's also a kids section. Here there's an icon on the home page for Energy Kids. So if you have kids, you might want to check out that section. And then under this tab of outages, you can report it. You can actually report an outage online. And there's some tips on how you prepare for an outage or what to do during an outage. There's some helpful information there. We also have down here an outage viewer. And during an outage, you can, if you click on this, you can see where the outages are. You can see where the crews are assigned and who's working where. And then as the areas are restored, the map is updated and you can see what the progress is during an outage. This icon over here is called Co-op Owners for Political Action. That is a political action committee that's actually engaged in legislative issues that affect our co-op on both the state and the national level. Several people from our co-op have joined, and we want to thank them for doing that. If you haven't joined, you might want to check that out because membership starts at only $25 a year. You'd be surprised how much of the political issues that happen in Harrisburg and Washington affect our local co-op. It's one of the few PACs that really focus on rural issues, and our legislators do listen. And just to let you know, Our representative, Tina Pickett, is participating in this meeting today. The other item up here in the co-op owners for political action section is called Co-ops Vote. And under that tab, you can actually register to vote. You can find out who your legislators are. You can engage them on different political issues that are important to co-ops and especially to rural residents. There is a very important election coming up in November, so be sure to make your voice heard and guard your vote. Just go and vote. Thank you. I'll now turn this over to Craig Harding for our CEO for the CEO's report.